last night. We're in the Trademart, folks, as you can tell. A lot of folks walking around here and a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement. And we are joined now by Mike McCormick, the president of the Mississippi Farm Bureau Federation. Mike, thanks for coming by, stopping by. A lot of activity, a lot of traffic already.
Well, thanks for having me, and that's exactly the way I was going to describe it. There's a lot of buzz here, a lot of excitement here before the Dixie National Sale of Champions, a lot of excited young men and parents that have animals in the sale.
No doubt. So it's expected to be a big day, and I've run into a couple of friends of mine already that said they have made it to this point, and they're pretty excited about the contest and hoping to walk away with what are the possibilities? Some scholarships, right?
Yes, the money that we'll bid on for the sale of the champions today will go to scholarships for the kids. It's a great cause. These kids have worked really hard to get to this point. This is the Super Bowl of their year. They've been working all year long around the state to get to here. They've been up early in the morning and late at night taking care of these animals. It's a leadership development for them. These will be future leaders of our state. We're proud to be part of it.
Yeah, it's awesome, and Mississippi really does stand out among the 50 states in this area, does it not, Mike?
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know what other states do, but we have a lot of interest in this program here. It's a great cause. It teaches great work habits for these kids early in life. They're feeding their animals before they feed themselves in the morning. They're at home after school. They're not inside watching video games. They're outside taking care of animals and learning responsibilities.
And that'll carry them for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
We need more programs like this to engender that sort of work ethic. Is so important to our country, to our society, and of course our states and community. All right, so talk about Farm Bureau Federation and the organization's involvement in this event.
Well, we've been involved with it as far back as I can remember with a whole host of partners that partnership with us, our insurance operations, as long as some other business groups, and TelSouth Communication, your parent company, partners with us on this. So what a great way to support Mississippi and support Mississippi agriculture than to give back to these kids for scholarships for their future.
And there are a lot of folks just looking at the committee members that give of their time as well to be part of this and participate in this, and a lot of familiar names on that list.
Oh, yeah. Everyone on there are business leaders of the state, and they're just here to make sure these kids are taken care of, that we're working with them to make sure everybody in the sale comes away happy with the sale of their animals that goes to their scholarships.
And, Mike, the members of the Farm Bureau Federation and your business partners, they're also very supportive of this, and I got to believe that this is to a great extent a pipeline for their future.
Oh, absolutely. When we look down the list of people in the sale every year, you will find that the vast majority of them are Farm Bureau members. That's a requirement for me to be able to bid on one of those animals. Sure. You've got to have a membership with us. So we're proud to give back to the community. So a lot of people buy things and with out-of-state companies and organizations, and that money just flows out. But here in the state, if you do business local, buy local, those are the organizations that are giving back to Mississippi's future.
Mike, does this event draw folks from outside of the state's borders as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think you'll see some money coming in from some national organizations here to help support scholarships, help support the people in the sale. We'll definitely get some.
Do you find that most of the participants, is this something that's handed down in their families? I know you yourself, right, come from a family of agricultural professionals.
Yes, to be Farm Bureau president, you have to be a full-time farmer. I still farm down in Jefferson County. You will see multi-generations here that their fathers and mothers have done this, or grandparents have done this. But you'll also see some first-time kids here. We've got some in the sale that hadn't done this. Their parents hadn't done this. They've just learned it and have done an outstanding job taking care of their animals, and we got a few of those in the sale, and they may be the most exciting ones here.
That's awesome. So how long has this event been going on?
I can't tell you. As far back as I can remember, somebody else can tell you the year, but it's been going on a long time. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Every year we set records for the amount of money that goes through the sale of champions into scholarships, and we look just forward to setting another record this year.
I remember that last year as well. Now, out front, in the area between the Trademart where we are positioned and the Coliseum, of course, the Ag Up folks have all of their John Deere equipment on display. I know you and I talked about that last time we visited. This equipment is so impressive in how that is changing the industry to make farmers more productive, hopefully more profitable. It's pretty important.
The profit margins are very thin towards the bottom line for farmers, and you have to watch every penny that goes into your inputs. And the technology that we've got out and coming out in the future that John Deere has, other manufacturers has, but it's amazing that the things that we can do now that wasn't even envisioned a few years back.
It's incredible how that is changing. Give us an industry update. I know you and I just talked in the studio about 3 weeks or so ago. How's it been going since then? What's the outlook for the year for the agricultural industry in Mississippi?
I think trade markets are going to be strong again this year. We'll have a lot of demand for our crops. I think the livestock industry, the numbers of beef cattle that's in the countryside now is down quite a bit just because of years of unprofitability there. But it's going to catch up this year, and a tight supply is going to help our cattle producers maybe put a little money on their bottom line. But it is just so difficult now with the input cost where they are, the inflation of what we're paying to get everything where it needs to go is just so high. It just doesn't leave much of that dollar to come back through the farm gate to the farmer.
Lots of talk, I'm sure you're well aware, at the federal level about imposing some sort of taxes or fees on cattle farmers in particular with respect to methane gas emitted by cattle. I believe that's already occurring in New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken.
I read that article. It's just amazing. They lead some of the world with dairy production, and they're telling their dairy farmers now that just crazy things about how they're going to combat global warming, and that it's the fault of cattle that's eating grass out in the countryside. And it just it may cause a little bit of carbon emissions there, but we're such a small part of that. To focus in on animal agriculture is just a way to put the future of food supply around the globe in jeopardy. I worry about our world and the unintended or the intended consequences, I think, of what we're trying to portray as animal agriculture being the enemy of the planet and global warming. It doesn't make any sense. A lot of these places that cattle are grazing, they wouldn't be doing anything else with that land. It's not row croppable land. It's not good for much of anything else. So actually cattle do a great job of producing a food supply off of some very low value land and grass, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense what the environmentalists are putting out there other than trying to make you a vegetarian. Now, I think that's what they're trying to do.
Well, and they have a war on that part of the agricultural industry as well, with fertilizers and other supplements that they want to outlaw because of the so-called carbon emissions from those products. But last time I checked, Mike, we need protein to live as humans as well, do we not?
Absolutely. I can't imagine going through the world without animal protein. The West wasn't one on salads. You got to have, you got to be strong to get out there and survive.
It's so crazy. Well, I know your organization and others are certainly keeping up with that and working with these politicians in Washington to stop this madness.
We're going to keep working for them every day. As long as we got farmers out in the field farming, Farm Bureau is going to be standing in the gap working for them.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks for coming on. Let's have a good show.
Yes,
We're coming right back on middays. We're at the Mississippi Trademart for the sale of junior champions.